Hello and a very welcome back to all my dear students. I am Dr. Suhani Parekh and you are with me on the channel Funful Life. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel to join the learning process where we upload a lot of lectures related to botany and biology. So today I am going to make you understand about the topic of economics of organic farming, which falls under the lecture series of organic farming. If you want to understand organic farming right from the beginning, I'll be sharing the link through the I button. Do go through that playlist and go through other videos of this lecture series. Basically now organic farming is the upcoming thing because everyone now wants to move towards organic things. Organic farming people want to do, and also people want to purchase organic products. So in this lecture I'll be making you understand why is organic farming more economical in comparison to modern agriculture, and how is it more economical. So let us understand the topic, and we start with uh, the understanding that we already know that there are organic products in the market and there are inorganic products in the market, right? So organic products, like you might have observed bottles of honey uh, from various brands, organic brands, for example Organic India. uh, on the other hand, you might have observed inorganic product of honey, which is not organically made but they claim to be pure honey, right? Likewise, you might have seen in the markets pulses cereals labeled as organic, right? On the other hand, you also get pulses cereals which are not labeled as organic. And most of the time when we go to the market, we find that these organic products are more costly comparatively than these inorganic products, right? Because of that, many of us don't go to purchase organic products. So the question arises that is organic agriculture more costly than conventional modern intensive agriculture? So basically this question always, is there in the mind of consumers. So we are going to answer this question. We will try to analyze that what is more economical. So a study says that the answer to this question are multifaceted and complex. So different people have different answer, and there are so many sides to this question. It can be answered in many ways, and therefore the answer is complex. But yes, it also has a consistent answer. Okay, so organic agriculture is more efficient economic system. Two things is there which ensures that it is more efficient economic system. It is efficient in generating profits, and it reduces the negative environmental impacts. Now these environmental impacts basically are the hidden costs of um whatever activity that we are talking about. So now you will think that what exactly is hidden cost. So hidden costs is something that any consumer or any person pays for it in one way or other way. So hidden cost is basically something which you think that you have not paid, but you have actually paid in one way or other way. You might not have paid in terms of money, but you are paying it in some other form that you are not recognizing. So that is called hidden cost. And the environmental impacts are actually the hidden cost that we are paying because of modern intensive agriculture. So in the next slide, let us understand what is hidden cost in the modern intensive agriculture, right? So what is modern intensive agriculture? This is a type of agriculture where more focus is on producing huge amount of crop, and in utilizing so many resources, like extensively. Like for modern intensive agriculture, you need a lot of water, you need a lot of fertilizers, you need a lot of pesticide, and the focus is that you need to produce more and more in higher amount. So that is modern intensive agriculture. Now, no doubt, by modern intensive agriculture, we get a lot of produce, but then there are hidden costs. What are the various hidden costs that we pay for modern intensive agriculture? The first thing is pesticide toxicity. Now, you already know that in modern intensive agriculture, pesticide is being used in a huge amount to remove the pest from the crop, and this pesticide is sprayed on the crop, right? And because of that, whatever is sprayed not only goes to the plant, it also goes to our mother earth, and all that pesticide goes into the groundwater along with the rains. It goes and it pollutes the groundwater. Apart from that, this pesticide has certain toxicity that can lead to your worsening of health also. So the pesticide toxicity nowadays also leads to health problems, which we are not thinking that it is because of pesticide, but somewhere along this might be the reason. So pesticide toxicity is one hidden cost that we are paying for modern intensive agriculture. Another thing is we are polluting the groundwater. All this pesticide and fertilizer, where do you think it is going? It is actually getting washed out with water into our groundwater, into our water bodies, where all these organisms living there are also getting suffocated and getting died, right? The third hidden cost of intensive agriculture is our junk food. Now, I know this might be a very surprising thing to you people, that how can agriculture lead to junk food? The point is that all the junk food that you are eating actually has a certain type of specific vegetables that you are utilizing. Like you are utilizing cabbage, you are utilizing corn, maybe you are utilizing capsicum, right? So all these, you are utilizing wheat. So all these uh, particular vegetables or cereals are grown in a huge amount. So this is called monoculturing. Nowadays people are moving towards monoculturing because uh, this is a demand. This is what people need junk food, right? And so more and more monoculturing is done, more and more these vegetables are being made. So all other vegetables, other cereals are not coming into picture. Now this monoculturing is a problem because when you have to mass produce one particular thing, you need a lot of water, you need a lot of fertilizer, you need a lot of space, right? So when you use a lot of water, for example, what is happening that for monoculturing we are utilizing lot of water, and this water is used extensively, and our groundwater is getting depleted. So because of that, not enough water is available in the ground table, and hence it becomes unavailable to other crops. So our junk food is also a hidden cost of intensive agriculture. Another hidden cost that we are paying is antibiotics and pest resistance. Now you already know that the pests are also very smart. You start spraying pesticide, the next generation of pest comes more stronger than what it was before, and like this the pest also beat the pesticides toxicity, which now which means that the pest is now more um, you know more resistant to the pesticide, and hence the pesticide is not becoming uh, more useful. So what is happening? You will use, for example, you have used some amount of pesticide this time. Next time that amount of pesticide is not going to work to kill the pest. So now next time you will need more the amount of pesticide that you used the previous time. Right? Now this is the hidden cost that you are paying. Next is irrigation cost. You know, a huge amount of water is required for modern intensive agriculture because we need a lot of production. So you are paying irrigation cost. Depletion of fertility. You already know that modern intensive agriculture, because of lot of pesticides and fertilizers, has led to the depletion of fertile elements in the soil. So the soil slowly becomes more infertile and becomes not um, capable of growing plants. So every time you will have to add more fertilizer into your soil to make it fertile, and this is your dependency on the outside resources. And modern intensive agriculture also leads to soil erosion, because when the soil becomes infertile, your soil does not have lot of organic matter. So your soil is basically something like sand, and such type of soil can erode very easily. It cannot hold water, and therefore your soil, whatever is there, your land, goes into the hands of soil erosion. So these are the hidden costs that we are paying directly or indirectly because of modern intensive agriculture. We think that we are not paying for it, but somewhere along we are paying for it, and this is the problem of modern intensive agriculture. So what's next? The question arises, so what can be done? Should we not do agriculture? The point is that all of this agricultural activities, the modern intensive agriculture, is also leading us to climate change. So we need to understand that climate change is already now a part of our system, right? And we are witnessing it in some way or other way. So the modern intensive agriculture, as you know, all these pesticides, all these fertilizers, they release nitrogen oxide, right? The various debris produced by agriculture produce methane, and since we are doing it very intensively, these greenhouse gases are getting produced very intensively, right? And therefore also one thing is there that um, we are cutting down trees for more agricultural land. Now we are not actually cutting down trees, we are uh, actually increasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere by cutting down the trees. And because the trees are the carbon sequesters, now since we do not have trees, that means that more and more of carbon dioxide will remain in our environment only. So therefore climate change, um, one cause is the modern intensive agriculture. So, what is the profitability of modern intensive agriculture in comparison to organic farming? This is a very important thing that we need to understand. See, organic farming, right now you might think that the products are costly, but organic farming is comparatively more profitable in comparison to modern intensive agriculture. It's far more profitable. The first thing about organic farming is the premium pricing. Whenever you go to buy an organic product, it is always the cost is always higher in comparison to the inorganic products that are available in the market, right? So you need to think it that way, that the consumer demand is increasing for this thing, right? There is a demand for organic products, and people want to get more healthy, nutritive and quality products. People want to eat organic bananas, people want to eat organic fruits, organic vegetables. Now when the demand increases, certainly the pricing will also increase. Also we have to understand that not so many of agricultural lands are actually into organic farming. People are slowly moving towards organic farming. So what is happening, that the production is less and the demand is more. So obviously when something has more demand and the production is less, the quality is required. So then the price will increase because demand is more. So premium pricing is one thing. This is because there are so many other people involved in organic farming, right? There are many laborers involved in organic farming, there are many farmers involved, so all of them have to get benefit. So take this in this way, that eventually organic farming deals with sustainable development. Over the period of time this costing will reduce, because more and more people will now move towards organic farming and are moving towards organic farming. Second important thing is that organic farming can give 95% of conventional yield. People believe that organic farming cannot give much yield, but it can give 95% of conventional yield after 3 to 5 years of transitional period, right? Now what is transitional period? Transitional period is the time, for example, when a farmer decided that now from modern intensive agriculture I want to move towards organic farming. So that is the point where the farmer decided now, but his farm was actually into modern intensive agriculture, so the farm was already has already imbibed a lot of fertilizer and pesticides, right? So when the farmer decides to move towards organic farming, there is a transition period of 3 to 5 years where slowly year by year, uh, the chemical content in the soil of that land where modern intensive agriculture was going on, uh, the chemicals will start reducing and will get eliminated from that land. So this is called transitional period, from where a farmer decides to go into organic farming to the point where now his land is completely free from chemicals, and now his land is actually less dependent on fossil fuels, expensive inputs and annual loan, which is quite obvious because um, in modern intensive agriculture you have to get a lot of loan, because you have to purchase a lot of fertilizers, a lot of pesticides, so government gives loan for that, right? And you have to have expensive inputs in modern intensive agriculture, you need a lot of machinery. But in organic farming all that cost goes on decreasing, because you don't need a lot of machinery, you don't need any loan to suffice your purchase, and your land is now not dependent on chemicals, your land is self sufficient in itself. So over the period of time your land will give you 95% of the yield in comparison to modern intensive agriculture. So there is a myth that organic farming is incapable of producing equal yields in comparison to modern intensive agriculture. Organic farming can give equal yields, but within the by the time of completion of transitional period, organic farm will be more efficient and will be more self sufficient in comparison to modern intensive agriculture. Compare this with the modern intensive agriculture, where your land completely becomes dependent on chemicals and fertilizers and pesticides, and every year you have to keep on increasing that quantity so that your land sustains. And in that way you are continuously increasing your cost every year, which in organic farming will be almost getting reduced to none. Third thing is, organic farming is a low waste system, right? Organic farming's main focus is on quality rather than quantity, right? Because organic farming is something where you try to utilize natural things, already available things, to enhance the production of your crop, right? And you avoid those chemicals, right? So we focus more on quality over quantity, and therefore organic farming can give you same profit in less land. Consider this in this way, that there is a land, for example there are two lands of the same size, right? In one land modern intensive agriculture is going, and in one land organic farming is going, right? So what will happen, a land the land in which modern intensive agriculture is growing, maybe that particular land will give you profit. You will get more of production, but you have to keep in mind that this agriculture will also give you a lot of purchasing problems, like it will you will have to go for a lot of machineries, a lot of water resource, a lot of fertilizer, a lot of pesticide, and you are spending a lot on that, right? Whereas on the other hand, where organic farming plot is there, it is also of the same size, but it will also give you the same profit over the period of time, because you are using less chemicals, slowly, no chemicals, no pesticide, no fertilizer. You are using natural things to grow your crop, so your crop is now self sufficient, self dependent. Your land has become more organic, more fertile. So eventually that particular land will also give you same profit, maybe more profit in the coming years, right? So it is a low waste system. Nothing is a waste in organic farming. Everything is being utilized. Insects are being utilized, birds are being utilized, different plants are being utilized in different ways to manage the crop. Okay, so the conventional farming, that is the modern intensive agriculture, uses a lot of pesticides, you know. Now machineries are available which can spray a lot of pesticides on your land. Conventional farming gives a lot of crop subsidies. Government has so many crop subsidy schemes available, right? And lot of money is being given in in modern intensive farming. And you have to spend lot of money, because you continuously have to increase your input of pesticide and fertilizers and water. So obviously when you have so much of subsidies, when you put so much of pesticide and money, obviously the production will be plenty, right? So the modern intensive agriculture gives you so much of production, right, than sale. The problem is that production is there, but then sale is a problem, because when something gets produced in a large amount, that means its cost is going to reduce, because demand is not that much, but the product has been made in a huge amount. So now the sale will reduce because the cost will reduce. When anything is available in plenty, its value decreases, right? So the modern intensive agriculture produces so much of plentiful of crop, that its sale becomes less. So it has more negative consequences now, because it leads to more pollution, overuse of resources, and it leads to a lot of food waste. And in news also you might have seen this waste problem, the farmers problem, in various ways, right? So for example, in BBC News it was shown that why a problem of plenty is hurting India's farmers. There is so much of produce because of modern intensive agriculture that farmers are basically, they are throwing their own produce, because they are not getting enough price for what they are producing, which is not enough to suffice their family, right? So food waste is a big problem in terms of modern intensive agriculture, right? Now coming to another very important point. If you want to understand why organic farming is economical, you need to understand this term, which is called natural capital, right? So before that, let us understand what is capital. Capital is basically all the man-made goods that are used in the further production of wealth. Everything that you use for the production of wealth is called capital, right? To make money, anything that we use, any goods that we use is called capital, right? Often capital is defined as the wealth or financial strength of an individual or company. So for a person, capital is usually the money that the person has. Capital is usually the money that a particular company has. So we say that more the capital, that is more the money, the individual will be more strong, will produce more wealth, will have more happiness, more prosperity. That is what, how you can relate capital to. So more the money, more the capital, or you can say that capital is basically money. But for a farmer, what is capital? No doubt money is one thing, but for a farmer, for whom agriculture is main thing, for him his assets are, his goods are hand tools, his goods are greenhouse gases, his goods are tractors, his goods are money, right? So for a farmer all these are uh, basically capital, right? So a farmer has to invest in these capital with the help of money, so that by uh, keeping all this, by purchasing all these things, the farmer can keep on doing agriculture, right? So for a farmer these are its capital. But what is natural capital? So, natural capital is a way of thinking about nature as a stock that provides the flow of benefits to people and the economy. So, think of this as the various things that nature has given us, so that the society can keep on working, so that everything goes smoothly. So think of national capital as a way, as a stock provided by nature, which is important to fulfill all the benefits of the people and the economy. So what are these capital? These are minerals, these are various water bodies, this is waste assimilation, this is carbon dioxide absorption done by trees, this is arable land, that is a land that is fertile. This natural capital could be habitat in which various organisms live, various fossil fuels provided by nature, the natural erosion control provided by nature, right? Visual amenity, biodiversity, temperature regulation, oxygen, all of this is natural capital. These are the stocks that are provided by nature, so that this whole earth can work properly, right? So this natural capital is basically providing us ecosystem services, which is very important, which we will understand in the next slide. So, dear students, for example, understand that this is the natural capital, that is our environment, right? In which we have animals, plants, soil, air, water, and all, right? So, this whole is our natural capital. Now, inside the natural capital, there is one more component which is called human, social, and cultural capital, which we call the society, right? So, we are basically the social capital, the cultural capital. We humans are the social capital, right? So, this capital basically comes inside the natural capital. First and foremost is the natural capital, over which this social capital is dependent, and then inside comes the physical and financial capital, which we call as the economy, right? So economy is important, but you see, you need to understand that when the environment is healthy, when the environment is strong, the society will be naturally strong, and when the society will be strong, the economy will be naturally strong, right? So the most important component is natural capital, right? So this is the relationship between all the capitals. Now we need to understand that there are certain natural assets that this natural capital or environment is providing us. These natural assets are animals, plants, forest, ecosystem, soil, water, air, and land, and many more things like this. So, these are our natural assets. These assets we have obtained for free from the nature, right? But these natural assets has to be maintained so that the environment, leads to more stronger society and better economy. So these natural assets are very important because they provide us with certain services. What are the services that these natural assets provide us? For example, they provide us with pollination. Imagine if there wouldn't have been any bee, any honey bee, or any other humming insect, then how pollination would take place, and how fruits will be formed, uh, how any seed will be formed, right? So this is ecosystem service provided only and only by nature. Then other service that we are getting from these assets is carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is basically a way by which some organism takes in carbon, and in return it does not give you out carbon. In return it gives you something more beneficial, right? So plants and trees are basically carbon sequesters. So these forests, these plants, they actually take in carbon and they give out oxygen. So this is a service that they provide. Then biomass production. So a lot of biomass is getting produced in the forest with the help of various trees and debris, right? And these biomass somewhere along we are utilizing. For example, trees. For example, the trunk of trees, logs, wood logs, we are utilizing for our purpose. These are ecosystem services that we get from these natural assets. These natural assets reduce erosion. Imagine if there would have been no plants, no trees, right? So then it would have lead to very easy erosion of soil. These forests, they bind the soil very strongly. They hold water, and therefore the soil erosion gets reduced. Other is water purification. A lot of organisms live inside the water bodies, the various ponds, the sea, the ocean. So they are naturally purifying the water in one way or other, right? So these are just some services that I have mentioned. There are many ecosystem services that these natural assets provide, and these services are important because they are beneficial to the society. What benefits do these services provide? See, pollination gives you food, right? Because of pollination you get fruits, you get seeds, and what all pulses and all you are eating, all that is your food product, right? You get energy from these natural assets. You eat plants, you eat animals, so you obtain energy from them. You get clean air and water. Because of plants you get clean air, right? Because of algae you get good water, right? So a lot of things are there. You get hazard protection. You get a lot of wildlife to observe, so wildlife conservation is important. Equitable climate is provided by these services. When all these natural assets are maintained in a proper way, all these services keep on running smoothly, and then society has a lot of benefits, and society has benefited a lot, right? But now what we are doing to build economy, we are bringing down the natural capital. We are thinking that economy means building big concrete buildings. Economy means cutting the trees so that we get more of industrialization. So what are we doing in the process? We are actually reducing our natural capital. Imagine that this natural capital, which is a very bigger component, is getting reduced. So consequently services will get reduced. These are ecosystem services provided by these natural assets, and when these services will reduce, the society will not benefit. So if the society will not benefit, imagine, let us take one example, that for example trees are being cut, okay? So because of that, because of cutting of trees now, and there is a lot of industrialization, now you don't get clean air and water, right? I am sure all of you living in urban cities must be witnessing this, that clean air is a big problem now. So the society is not getting clean air, and you know, because of industrialization there is lot of pollution, so this society is getting disturbed. There are a lot of diseases coming up, a lot of expense in over diseases is done by the society because people are trying to save themselves. And when clean air and water is not available, people, they become really annoyed. And when you are not happy, how do you think you are going to build economy, right? So this whole thing is related, and therefore this natural capital is very important. And organic farming ensures that we maintain this natural capital, because organic farming makes it a point that we keep our earth free from chemicals. We don't use fertilizers a lot. We use organic things. We don't harm the biodiversity. In fact, we use the biodiversity in one way or other to reduce pest, to reduce wind, to reduce erosion. Organic farming, it encourages the locally seasonal things. Organic farming encourages to grow more local trees in between the farms, so that uh, the biodiversity is maintained. Organic farming encourages birds, because birds themselves, they pick up pest from the field, and the pest will reduce by themselves. So this all is related. Imagine this as, for example, um, any company, you know, any company, any corporate or business company have assets, right? So for example, their employees are also their assets. So when you know that your employee who is doing very well and who is giving you so many services in your company, right, is working so much for the company, right, and is benefiting your company and the society in return, what will you do? Won't you save that asset? Won't you always want that employee to be in your company? So consider these animals, plants, forest, ecosystem, soil, water, air, and land as those employees who are continuously working for the betterment of your um, company, right? So these natural assets are those employees who are continuously working to give you services, give the service which is beneficial to the society. So, therefore, building natural capital is very, very important, and organic farming ensures that natural capital is maintained. Whereas in modern intensive agriculture, we are going the other way round. What we are doing? We are using a lot of money to for the resources, a lot of money for water, fertilizer, and this expenditure, and then we are getting a lot of produce, we are clearing the forest, and that is all leading to reduction of natural capital. These chemicals, fertilizers ultimately is going into the society, is going into the environment, and it is disrupting everything. So there is a very strong relationship between these capital. So how organic farming helps in building natural capital? The very first thing, it adds organic matter to soil every year. By organic farming, you keep on adding organic matter in your soil. There is no chemical, no fertilizer use. You use organic compost, you use organic fertilizer, and therefore organic things are being added in your field, which ensures that your soil stores more carbon in comparison to the soil that was used in modern intensive agriculture. So, organic matter is basically all the natural things in the soil that is present. So, more organic matter, more carbon will be stored in the soil. Second, organic matter increases water holding capacity of soil. This is very much true because organic matter has basically uh, soil that is very strongly bound, which can store water together, whereas inorganic matter has more soil that is like sand like, so the sand cannot store lot of water. Sand will itself get washed away, the inorganic things itself will get washed away with water because it cannot store water. So organic matter increases the water holding capacity of soil, so you will have less use of water, and hence your food production will be cheaper. A soil that can hold water by itself for some longer time will surely not need watering often and more extensively as it was done in modern intensive agriculture. Third is biodiversity in organic farms is maintained. You know, organic farm works on the principle that biodiversity should be maintained. Whatever are the beneficial insects, they are allowed to remain in the farm so that these insects, they remove those pests that damage the crop, right? Also, organic farming encourages tree plantation around the farm so that soil erosion is reduced. So this ultimately uh, eliminates the need for pesticides, and again this leads to cheaper production. So you are more into biological control, right? Organic farming deals with biological method of uh, biological cultural methods of pest control, and therefore now you are not dependent on pesticides, so you don't have to pay for pesticides, so your production will ultimately be cheaper, right? And this also increases pollution because you are saving the beneficial insects. When you use pesticide, you are actually killing all the insects in the field, but here you are not using pesticides, so obviously all the beneficial insects will be saved, and this will increase pollination. So building of natural capital leads to reduction in cost, and this reduces the negative environmental and social impact. Now in the previous slide we already saw that how much important environmental and social impact is, and how modern intensive agriculture leads to negative impacts on this uh, environmental and social factor, right? So organic farming builds natural capital, and hence it over the period of time reduces the cost of production, and it reduces the environmental negative impact and leads to buildup of more natural capital. Hence the overall cost of organic farming also reduces. Whereas your modern intensive agriculture, as I explained before, the costing of your farming will keep on increasing because you are getting dependent more and more on uh, artificial things, more and more on pesticide, chemicals, water. So your costing every year is going to increase in intensive agriculture. So this brings me to a shlok from Atharva Veda, which says, Mata Bhumihi Putro Aham Prithivya Prithvim Druyam Prithvim Mrudyam Prithvim Ma Hinudam. This is a shlok from Atharva Ved which says, Earth is my mother and I am her son. May the earth be dear to me. May I be dear to the earth. May we not harm each other. So this verse from Atharva Veda emphasizes the deep relationship and mutual respect between humans and earth. We are living on earth and we are not respecting the earth, we are spoiling the earth. That is not the way it should go. It should be a relationship of mutual respect between humans and earth. It promotes the idea of treating the earth with care and not harming it. And this idea clearly aligns well with the principle of organic farming. In organic farming, sustainability is foremost, right? In organic farming, care is being taken that our soil remains healthy, our biodiversity remains healthy, our our forests, our environment remains healthy. And therefore this just brought me to this shlok which very clearly depicts that how organic farming is ensuring that we are not harming our earth, which is very important because our earth is our natural capital, right? So with this we come to the end of the topic, and I am now sure that you must have understood that how is organic farming more economical than modern intensive agriculture. Yes, it is costly now, but it will certainly take some time, and with the period of transition, organic farming will become more you know uh, more cost effective in comparison to modern intensive agriculture. So thank you for your patient listening. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment box, or I'll be sharing my email id in the description box. You can mail me there and ask for any queries. Thanks a lot. I'll be back with another lecture. Thank you.